G'day listeners, welcome to Barkarati, the sailing podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer and it's that time of the week where we get to hang out with some cool sailors. Unfortunately, I have to share the mic with a couple of idiot mates. So first up, joining me is my good friend, Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, exalted one.
You got us, BP?
Apparently it's one idiot, mate, this week.
Oh, you're giving it away. One idiot this week, just one idiot, you and me.
There's one idiot. We're a man down.
We're a man down.
Time to get the boot in.
Well,
Hey?
so for the listeners who have been listening in will know that Bicey, we talked about it last week, he's been doing the Variety Club Bash. They raised a huge amount of money for kids, and then they went around and it basically had this big rally around South Australia with, I would suggest, a lot of alcohol involved, a lot of sailors' lager involved, and he hasn't turned up for the show. It finished a day ago.
It's gone missing.
He's gone missing.
Can you do me a favour? Can you do me a favour and play them, please? Come on.
Is that what you
Introduce him. There he is.
There's crickets when it comes to Bicey. Oh, dear. Actually, we have heard from him. We know he's alive, so that's good. Unfortunately, I actually think his child's quite sick, so he's had to rush to hospital. So we're trying to make it fun, but hope he's all right.
No.
Millie's all right, Bicey.
There is a serious note. So, Millie, sort yourself out. How dare you get in the way of a good podcast?
Well, exciting times. Exciting times. Sailing is starting to kick back up hard again. Obviously, we focused a bit on the Vendee last week, and the Vendee's underway, and we're going to talk about it this week. But we also...
Yes, we are.
Yep, we're fired up. You're fired up. BP, you've been very busy with your little X2 boat. I've seen the new renderings. We'll come back to that. But this week, we wanted to talk to a guy I've been desperate to get on the show for yonks. A guy I've known for a few years, and I really, really have enjoyed every moment every moment I do when I speak to him. He's a great guy, and he's probably He's got one of the most diverse resumes in terms of championship wins, like across so many different classes. So I just desperately wanted to get him on the show, and we've finally been able to make it happen. So I'll try to give you some sort of correspondence around the guy, just so you can understand who he is. He's an Optis national champion. He's a 420 national champion. He's a champion in the SB20s. He's a Swedish national champion in the 6 metre class. He went to the Olympics in the 49er class. He came second at the Worlds in the Dragon class, third in the Youth America's Cup. I think he was finished in the top 3 in the World Match Racing Tour, made the Star Sailors League final. That's right. He did a Volvo around the world race as well.
Just add that in there. Yeah, right.
So I reckon we should bring him in now. One of Portugal's from Portugal, one of their absolute outstanding young sailors, Bernardo Freitis. Yeah. How are you, my friend?
Hi guys, all good here. Thank you for having me here.
It's
really keen to do this.
How are you?
All good, this virus is a bit changing the world sailing scenario, but staying positive and happy to go out every time I have the chance to go sailing.
Are you sailing at the moment, or are you locked down?
Not at the moment, no. A bit of a lockdown now. The rules have been changed for the last few days. So I just spent 12 days in the south of Portugal sailing dragons. So we did the Grand Prix and the Euro Cup finals, and now home. We have to be locked inside our homes from 1:00 in the afternoon and stuff like that. So
wow.
It's getting a little bit tougher again.
I have to ask you, Bernardo, dragons are massive in Portugal, aren't they?
Not in Portugal. They are massive. They are massive in Europe. It's a very old boat, a very old class, but the guys sail it like it's an Olympic class. It's so much money and effort going through it. So it's very competitive.
There are some beautiful boats.
Yeah, they're cool. I will, because you're Cascais based for those. That's correct. You're based out of Cascais. For those who know Portugal, so just down south of Lisbon slightly, you know, basically just 10K jog down the beach. And if you're ever wondering where all the SB20s in the world are, they're at Cascais Yacht Club.
True. It's true. Our weekend regattas have like 30 to 40 boats. It's pretty fun.
It must be incredible winning the national champs in that fleet, because you must race just about everybody in the world. Because I was there, I can't remember, last time I was in Europe, so March, and I couldn't believe it. I was in Portugal for the day, and I wandered down to Cascais because I was trying to go to Dominolo's, get some frango, and and
this
is the world capital of sailing, mate.
It's a great spot. It's a great spot.
I got to say, I love Portugal. I absolutely adore Portugal. I mean, for me, I have a little bit of a different side of it. I'm a bit of a surfer, and I love Ericeira. I go up to Ericeira and I love that beach.
That's 30 minutes away from here as well, mate. It's really good.
I love it. That is, yeah.
It's blowing. We go sailing. If there's no wind, we go surfing. It's pretty cool.
Exactly. And that big grassy area with the stage, I just love the joint. I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a bit of a change of tack. Go on, George.
So, with Bernardo, I guess, with all those different boats that you were talking about, that I mentioned, have you got a favourite?
Yeah, I do. Like, I would say the favourite boat I sail was the AC45. That's for sure.
Okay.
Like, a lot
of people have said that.
The boat is unbelievable. It's very tough on the crew, but to drive it was amazing. It's like a lot of feeling and easy to steer. Amazing.
That's very cool, mate. I always thought you were going to go with the Dragon or something like that. Like I was thinking that was going to be the win for you, but obviously not. So
I do love it, you know, but I'm a bit addicted to adrenaline and speed and fast sailing.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
And you did the extreme. You did the extreme series as well, didn't you?
Yeah, a bit of those. Yes.
Okay. So. How does your sailing career happen, mate? And hang on, just before I forget, before I go down that one, is your father-in-law? He's a sailor, isn't he? Your stepdad.
Stepfather, yeah, stepdad.
And he's a star sailor, is he not?
He used to be, yes.
Right.
Nowadays, retired, not sailing anymore. But
okay.
he's the main reason I started, pretty much.
Okay, so tell us about that. I think that's what we're interested in. We want to find out how you go from being a little Portuguese kid to becoming one of the top pro sailors in the world.
You know, I was. My parents got divorced, and my mother met my stepdad, and he had 3 kids already. I'm the youngest, so we were 5 kids, and they were all sailing, but I was too young. So as soon as I turned 8. I was pushing to start sailing, and as soon as I turned 8, they let me start, because they thought if I started too young, you can get scared and then you disappear and you kind of lose the chance to sail. So I started with 8 years old here in Cascais, sailing Optis. And, you know, that was the path, you know, chasing my brother's steps. He was selling lasers at that time, and since I started, never stopped, you know. Actually, there was a moment when I turned 14 that I started surfing at the same time, you know. So I was waking up at 7 a.m. to go surfing, telling my dad to pick me up like 9:30 because I had to be at the sailing club at 10 o'clock. So I would go surfing, sailing, and then after sailing, if I had time, I would go surfing again. And my coach at that time called me apart. Is like, Mike, you have 2 chances. Rather you go surfing or you come sailing, because doing both at the same time is not gonna work. I was like, okay. So I just decided to stick to sailing. I surf on my free time, but sailing got like started to be the number one thing I wanted to do. So, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, and you don't regret that at all? I'm saying you don't think you made the wrong decision picking sailing over surfing?
No, not at all. Not at all. I don't regret at all. Sailing have given me so much, and actually nowadays I'm living 100% from it, so I can't complain. I'm kind of living my own dream here. So
living the dream, living the dream. Good on you.
Yeah, pretty much. Great. We can't complain that we get paid to do what we love the most, and we get to travel the world, meet a lot of different people and talented people around the world, and spend our days in the ocean. What can I ask?
Yeah, well, you, from memory, from a few conversations we've had, you're pretty good mates with Frederico Moraes, who is the top Portuguese surfer on the WSL, who's a brilliant surfer. I love his style.
Yeah, he's kicking ass, huh?
Yeah, he's awesome. I love him.
He's on top of his game. Yeah. We grew up together, basically. The beach just around the corner here, it's 5-minute drive from me. It's Guincho. I don't know if you know it.
Yep, absolutely.
I do know.
That's the...
Prefer to Aracira,
though. Yeah, but Guincho is special, mate.
Yeah, I know.
So, Frederico grew up there as well, and we know each other since we are really young.
Oh, well, if I'm back in Portugal, I'll hook you up and we can have a beer together. I'd love to meet Frederico. I love his style. So do you surf like that as well, or you?
Yeah, mate. Don't you see me on the seat?
So Bernardo, I don't know if you know, I'm pretty sure you've heard of it, but Jordan's actually quite a keen surfer, and he's actually recorded the world's longest wave.
All right.
On his
no. BP's trying to set me up. He's trying to set me up.
No, I'm not.
I talked some crap one day on Facebook just as a joke, and it's haunted me ever since. Leave me alone, BP. It was a good wave, but it was I was on a ski, not a board. All right, so you became you started the Optis, became Opti national champ. Was it? I wonder from your stepdad's perspective, his other kids. Did they have the success you've had, or you were the standout?
No, they didn't. All my sisters, they gave up halfway through the Optis, and then only one of my brothers kept going. And then after lasers, he chased his university and started working. Mm-hmm. And nowadays he just sells SB20s at the weekends, but no one chased it the way I did. No.
Right. So
my stepdad always wanted me to. Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, did you have? So when you first hopped on the Optimus, did you have that drive? Did you have that feeling that you, you wanted to try and beat the person next to you? Is that how it felt?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm a very competitive person. I hate to lose, and I got pissed with myself and pissed with everybody else when I was younger. Like I was losing and I didn't have the speed, So I went into. We had a Brazilian coach that showed up, and that was my last year in the Optins, and he was like, "Mike, I can see you winning the nationals, but you need to lose 6 kilos and you need to put an extra effort here." I was like, "Okay, but I'm 14. How the hell I do that, So I was just riding my bike from home to the club and making my own salads and so on. So ended up losing the 6 kilos, winning the nationals was kind of a little moment that on my young career that I don't forget for sure.
So what do you think was the difference? You've gone out sailing when you were 14. You've lost the 6 kilos and you've gone out sailing. How did you feel? What made you, or how did you feel you won that particular event?
First, I felt lighter because I was a chubby kid,
okay.
I don't know. It's just I really, at that age, we in Portugal we only sail at the weekends. It was really tough for young kids to go out during the week by themselves because Cascais has a lot of waves, and if you don't have a coach, they didn't allow us to go. But we got a group of 2 or 3 friends, and we managed to go and sail inside the bay. So we were putting some more effort, some more hours on the boat than most of the people. So I think at that age it makes a huge difference to practice a bit more. And then everything came together at that stage. I got a sponsor, a local guy that represented one of the Opti brands and Olympic sales and so on. He made a deal with my stepfather, and they gave me a new boat and some new stuff, and everything came together. I won, I think, out of 8 races, I won 7 of them, or 6 of them, and the second and the 7th or something. So it was a nice event.
Nice event, yeah, comfortable win.
Yeah, it was good. It was good, and
then so you just followed on. So obviously you went through. There's a bit of a club culture there. Like it's quite a good club, the Cash Coast Club. There's a full range of boats that you can go through. So obviously the 420 was next, and you went down that path. Did the 420s, won the national champs in those as well.
Yeah, at that time, my stepfather always said, like, you have the perfect body shape, and you know you're gonna be a big guy, so you have to sail a bit of the laser and then just go to the fin. You know, I can see you sailing the fin, and I was like, nah, you know, I'm more into like a bit faster boat, and I want to be with my friends. Yep. You know, sail with a mate, and all my friends that finished the Optis with me, they were all moving to the 420s, so. We just did the same, basically, starting that path. It was the only classes going on in Portugal at that time was the 420, a few 470s, but that was a bit farther away from us, and the lasers, you know. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just chased it, sailed it for a couple of years, did some nationals, some world championships and Europeans and stuff like that, and then I jumped into the 470 against everybody. Yeah. So that was So I was 80 kilos, and wow. I was steering a 470.
Yeah, that's too big.
The guys have like 65 kilos in there, or 68 kilos. So yeah, against all the odds, and I invested a bit of my money to go for it, because I just wanted to be with my friends, you know, and keep sailing. Yep. But fast enough, it came to an end, and I did at that time, I was just about to get into the university. So I just, it came to an end, and I was like, okay, so I have the right weight. So I'm going to go for a campaign on the laser, you know, because I didn't find anyone else to sail. And I was like, okay, let me try this. So I started sailing the lasers, and after 3 months, I only did some national regattas. After 3 months, I don't know if you guys know Francisco Andrade. He was just been into the Olympics in Qingdao.
Oh, yep.
In the 49er. He's 10 years older than me. And he approached me, and he was like, okay, mate, so what do you want to do for your future? Do you want to come and sail the 49er with me? Like, let's give it a chance. And I was like, for sure, like let's do it. And he said, okay, I would love to steer the boat. I would like you to crew for me. And I said, that's not really what I'm looking for, but I'll give it a chance. So we go out for 2 weeks. I was crewing for him, and one of the days, I mean, first try breaking masts and, you know, capsizing, because the boat was a nightmare. And after 2 weeks, he gave me the chance to steer the boat for a bit, and I drove the boat, and we came back ashore. And the next day he called me. He said, okay, I'm keen to go back to my old position and to give you a chance to go in the helm, and we do the campaign this way. So that was pretty much where everything started to become a bit more professional, and chasing the London Olympics.
Mm. And you did pretty well there. You got 8th, you know, like 8th at the Olympics is an amazing achievement.
That was good for sure.
Was that above or below your expectations?
Tough to say. Like, of course we always want more, and you want to be there and be competitive. I would say top 10 for sure was our goal, but we knew was a tough goal to achieve, because we had a lot of bumps along the way. You know, we lost the funds to do the campaign halfway through. We stopped almost for a year. I was doing my university degree at the same time, and was a a tough road. I think for every athlete that's chasing the Olympics, everybody's chasing some more money and some more funding to invest. We were not different. So yeah, we got in there and everything started to come together. We were fighting for a medal up till the end. Was a very nice and a very nice race, And then in the end, everything is so tight that one bad.
I was going to say, what an experience, though. Just what an experience to go to an Olympics. Must still feel really wonderful.
I mean, it is. I remember talking about that national title in the Optis. I still have my, the prize and all that, and I have a little piece of paper of an interview I gave, and in the end, it ends up like the little young sailor dreams about a place in the Olympic Games in the future. And so you can see I was just 14 or 15 at that time, and that was my dream. I was stuck into the TV every time the games were on, and I was dreaming about it since I remember.
So what's your dream now, mate?
My dream now?
Yeah.
To become a father.
Oh. Have you told your missus?
Yeah, she knows. She really wants it as well.
Oh well, best of luck, mate.
We are in the same page.
Oh, that's
no,
awesome.
But
that's really handy. That's important that she's on the same page.
Oh yeah,
it's also good for future crews if you need a crew in the future.
Exactly, comes along with me. I can crew for him and give him the chance.
Him or her?
I like him, yeah.
Exactly. Him, I don't mind actually.
No, why would you?
A little princess should be fine.
Well, especially obviously world sailing.
Jordan wouldn't know. You see, Jordan's gone through life saying he didn't want to have the children. I've got 2 young girls, and as of this weekend, my little one's off into TACA's 1, so that's our little junior sailing program here in Australia, which is really exciting on the Optimist. So love it. Yeah, no, it's good fun, Jordan. You should maybe.
Do you get involved a lot, or you just let them go?
No, we're out there. We just let them. We don't force them here to do too much sort of hard stuff. It's just a matter of just reaching back and forward. We walk up to them and we drive up to them with the powerboat and give them some waves and give them a laugh. That's what it's about.
Nice.
We're talking about 6-year-olds here.
Yeah. The other benefit, of course, is if you have a daughter with the world sailing sort of program now, which they're moving more and more to 50-50 sort of crew splits. So you could, in a few years, do the double-handed offshore race.
Sure.
That could be a great future combination.
In a few years, mate, it has to be... First, you need to stick into the Olympics for the next at least 20 years.
You can do it.
I can do it.
It's a no-brainer. It's in, full stop.
Well, it's just 3 days anyway.
You've got the offshore experience. Let's go on to that because then we'll come back to where we're at. Let's go that. So around the world, mate. You did the Olympics, then you go racing around the world. That's just the logical progression, is it?
Yeah, it's a logical progression.
Very logical. It's a bit of it's a game changer for sure.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Had you done much offshore sailing before you got onto a Volvo 65?
Not much. After the Youth America's Cup, I got a chance to be with Gitana, the Mod 70 in France for 2 weeks, roughly 2 weeks. But nobody spoke English, and I was kind of a passenger there, trying to learn as much as I could. And that was pretty much all the experience I had offshore. And then coming into the Volvo program, Leg Zero was pretty much it.
Can I just say, for the first offshore experience, a Mod 70 is probably one... There's not many people on the planet had their first offshore experience on a Mod 70. I would have thought... Some of going on the Volvo 65 was pretty hardcore because I know a few of the youngsters on the boat with you hadn't been to sea on the 65, but then a Mod 70, geez, Wow.
It was a bit rough. It was a bit rough. Crazy and
Okay,
cold.
So you've grown up with your Optis. You've grown up with your dinghy sailing. You've done this, and you've achieved some stuff. And then all of a sudden, you find yourself on the Jana, which is fine. Then you go to try out for the Volvo. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So I've been chasing the Volvo for a while, and I tried to apply
so
for.
It was a goal.
Was a goal. Yeah, for sure. After the Olympics and all that, I did some other sailing, and that was a goal to chase something like that. I love the challenge, and I think at that time it was another dream, another thing that I was pretty much looking for. So I tried to apply for it, and those before applying for the last Volvo, I kind of told myself, like, you don't have the offshore experience, you have a lot of dinghy experience. I have the right size to be on a boat, so I'm just gonna try to make any sailing program that I have the chance to, so that I become a more all-around sailor, and I'll try to be as fit as I can at that time, because those things I can control. Offshore experience I can only control if I get the chance to get involved. So that was my goal. I hired a personal trainer, and I started to work like really hard on my physics, and really just to make sure I was ready if the call came. So I tried to apply for the one before, and I didn't make it. And then this one, I was already with that mindset, and then I got the call saying, okay, it's going to be this team that they are looking for young guys. You are under 30, and I think this could be your chance. So I just applied, and the answered straight away saying, okay, I really like your CV, so come to us. Like, we'll be in Lisbon from this day and that day, and we'll try you out. So I was sailing in Canada at that time, sailing some 6 meters there or whatever it was. And I remember arriving, and my back snapped. Those really big ones that you can barely breathe. And so,
Yep.
And I was like, okay, this is not happening. How am I sailing a Volvo 65 for 3 or 4 days offshore tomorrow if I can even, pick up my bag?
Breathe.
So very quick story. I drove up to my physiotherapist. With a guy that works with Chinese medicine and so on. He fixed me in 2 hours, and I asked him, like, how am I doing this tomorrow? Should I take care of myself or just go? He's like, no, just go, no problem. And that was all right. Green light, let's go. So I did my trials. It worked pretty fine. It was rough out there, just out of Portuguese, the Portuguese coast here, and he called me in straight away.
I mean, I've got a question. Excuse me, sorry. When you're sailing dinghies, it's basically you've got your jib sheet, you've got your main sheet, you've got your vang, you've got your downhaul, you tack and you jibe and you do what you're doing, right? You get on a big boat, all of a sudden you've got a bunch of other controls, and you're trying out for the Volvo Ocean Race. How did you handle that? Things like furlers, things like managing all of the maneuvers and stuff. It's a completely different ball game. And how did you change your mindset?
I mean, I've sailed some big boats before, and I kind of had a bit of a idea of what was going on. But like you say, it's a completely game change. It's a totally different boat, new loads and all that. So
yeah,
I kind of just stepped in on the boat, and I made sure that they knew what was my forte at that time. And I kind of said, like, okay, this is a game changer. I might not know how to do and perform stuff the way you want it, but I'm sure I can learn. and I just positioned myself in a place that I can do something for the team where I was, and then I was like a sponge, you know.
Yep.
I was listening, trying to get involved, to learn, and slowly getting into the boat.
Perfect. So it's a really good point here, Jay. We've been talking about this for a long time about how do I get to a Volvo? How do I get to the top level? And this is a perfect example of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Also the determination. If you listen to
the determination.
Yeah.
But you might not know how to do these particular style of sailing, but you get on the boat. Sorry, Bernardo. We're just talking about how a lot of people want to get to this level, but how do they get there? And the key is you get on the boat and you say, listen, I might not know how to sail these boats, but I want to learn, and here's my resume. Here I go. And that's what it's about.
Well, he brought something to the table.
Yeah.
And was there anything like on that journey? So you did that race around the world, and it was a pretty inexperienced crew that you were with. Was there anything standout stories from that journey where things that just took you completely by surprise?
There's, of course, a lot of moments, you know, because the fact that you push yourself to the absolute limit and mentally, physically, those moments, you know, you kind of remember and you know what happened and which conditions were out there, and those are the memories I recall. And of course, you know, losing John was a moment that marked me a lot, you know, because he was one of the first guys that came to me and Freddie. We were still in leg zero, and he came to us and he said, guys, just make sure you enjoy this. Make sure you learn the most, because this moment is going to change your life forever. And the Volvo was not even starting yet. And you guys will understand what I'm saying when the race is over. So yeah, I kind of got his attention. We became friends and we had a lot of fun. So for sure, he's one of the. Losing him was something that marked me the most out of the last race.
And you carry that mantra on as you go through your life, teaching other people.
Absolutely, you know. I think we are always learning, and we never know everything. So surrounding ourselves with the people that we have the chance, some better guys, some guys that with more or less experience, but we are always learning a little bit. So I kind of take that, enjoying the moment on everywhere I am, and just without focusing too much on just myself, I think.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. So you get yourself around the bottom. You enter the Southern Ocean for the first time as a dinghy sailor, and all of a sudden you're in the Southern Ocean, and you get your first big swell. What were your thoughts?
I didn't sail the Southern Ocean leg. Because
sorry,
Freddie did, and then and I didn't do that one.
So there was a few in the race. They swapped people over. So another Portuguese sailor you're talking about there, Fred Mello, who another great guy. So. What then, to change BP's question a little bit, what was the standout thing? Like, do you have a standout memory of something that was just like, it was a beautiful sunrise or a beautiful memory where you just sort of go, wow, this makes everything worthwhile?
Oh, yeah. I have two really nice memories. First, the sunset and sunrise close to the doldrums, close to the equator. They are the best, for sure.
Yep.
And then crossing the Atlantic when we went a lot north was pretty cold, and when the leg that the speed records got beaten, and that ride was insane. You know, we were sailing downwind for ages and just surfing waves for as long as I can remember. It was amazing. You know, it was a fast ride and wet and cold, and was for sure one of the best moments for me.
It's interesting if anyone ever sort of talks to me about the race and tries to get an understanding for a non-sailor. I've got some raw footage from that leg where the boats are just going at nuclear speed, and it's just insane to look. I've got some raw footage. I just have a good 30 seconds of people, the boats just absolutely nuking along from on board. And which role were you filling? Were you like trimming main or steering at that stage?
On our team, we pretty much, when we were on watch, we pretty much swapped like for hour drive, hour on the main, hour on the trim front sails, and then an hour on the grind. So we were doing 4 hours. And for sure, that hour that I was steering was the one I was sweating the most, because it was insane. Yeah. You're just smiling from as soon as you step on it, you're just smiling and enjoying the moment.
It's funny when you show the footage to people, and they're just stunned by the noise and the conditions, and then you say to them that the sailors would be enjoying this moment more than any. Like it would just, they'd be absolutely loving it.
The people down below are going, the
thing's nuking along.
Let me sleep. yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Right, so just to finish off on that, the Volvo pieces, obviously that team, the Turn the Tide on Plastic, was backed in by the Mirapuri Foundation, which Paolo and his family are from Cascais. They are part of the furniture down there. So you must have known the Mirapuris for a while leading into it, and they're backing a boat, a 65 in, for the next edition of the race. So I'm guessing that you're part of that program. I can't remember. I thought I saw your name on it when I checked months and months ago. What's the case there?
So they are really keen. They announced a boat for the next edition of the race. We have been trying like we did 2 or 3 weeks of training with small regattas around here, where at the moment I've been involved, but so far nothing is nothing is signed up. Hopefully I will be part of the team, but so far nothing is decided. But looking forward to step in another program, and hopefully we can win the next one.
Yeah, why not? It's the Mirapuris.
That's the main goal of Paolo.
Yeah, he's determined. He seems to hit his goals pretty regularly, Paolo, doesn't he? He does quite well for himself.
Yeah, he's really keen with his goals, and he's doing a lot of different things, and all he wants to be is the best on anything he does. So he set up the bar, and he gave us the budget, and gave Johan the budget and to put a team together. And the main goal is like, I want to win. So hopefully if I get involved, I'm going to be really happy to be involved in a team that the goal is to win.
Do you think that team there'll be another bunch of young Portuguese people on that team, male or female, or it'll be just an international team? Because I
would say it's going to be an international team.
Okay.
Because that is how it has been. Yep. The last 2 or 3 weeks we have been training. We have young people, and there's a crew rules for ages and stuff like that. So I think he's going to try to get the best guys that he thinks he'll put the team. So it's not there is no rule from Paulo to say no it's you and 8 Portuguese. No, it's not going to be like that.
Okay, all right, very cool. Well, good luck with that, mate, because
we'll see.
It'll be a bit of fun. Go around again, you become a bit of a legend. So then the next question that takes us to, you've got this offshore experience now. You've got Olympic experience now. That next edition of the race will finish before the 24 Olympics, and all you have to do is buddy up with someone and do the double-handed offshore. You want to announce that that's happening or not?
To be honest, it has been crossing my mind a bit, like if I should get into it. But at the moment, to be honest, it's not on my plans. No.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
the first thing, Bernardo, how old are you? Sorry, I didn't get that at the start.
I'm 30. I'm 30. 30 years old.
Right. Okay.
I know where it's going, Bernardo.
So what you need to do is to be a part of the actual official rule, which has been written by Baccarati.
Yeah.
Is you have to find a female companion that's probably about 60 years old or above.
So I'll explain what's going on here, mate. So all the teams that have put their hands up from Australia, the average age seems to be about 50. So we're just taking. It's a bit of an ongoing joke where I actually for April Fools rewrote the rules and did a press release from World Sailing which said that the actual average age of the teams must be 50, and we did a release and we just publicised it as though we've just received it from World Sailing, and a few people did actually buy in on it.
Because Bernardo, I don't know if you know, but I've done a fair bit of short-handed stuff, and I'm 47. So by the time 24 comes around, I'll be 51. So I'll actually be eligible for our own rule.
Nice.
So I'm thinking about campaigning myself. Yeah.
Let's go.
To the extent you've even designed your own boat and building your own
Designed
boat.
my own boat. Yeah, I've done everything. Yeah, I'm all over it.
Have a look at the FAR X2, Bernardo. Have a look. Seriously, when the interview's over, have a Google of the FAR X2 and see what Brett's come up with.
All right. I will do.
So if you did though, like just randomly, like who's the female Portuguese sailor that jumps out? Is there or a couple that you'd consider that would be?
It's I would say it's hard for us in Portugal. I would say it would be quite hard to pick up a female girl to go. We don't have many sailors that are really keen to work professionally. We have a few of them, but for sure there is one sailor that actually she did the trials for the Volvo with me. And after the trials, she walked into D and said, "I really liked it, but this is not for me. So don't lose any time with me. I'm going to stick to my Olympic sailor and chasing that path for a while." So even after she said that, she would be the one I would go and ask if she wanted to do something. It's Mafalda Pires de Lima. She's pretty much sailing lasers, snipes, and any sort of boats, dinghy that she steps in. She's pretty good.
I think the big boat probably intimidated her, but I can tell you that go down to a 30-foot size, it'd probably be a lot more comfortable for her.
For sure. Yeah. It's a dinghy, and it becomes a dinghy, and I think she would have the right mentality and the right skills for it, for sure.
There you go. So we've now set up the Portuguese Olympic sailing team for 2024. Well done, Baccarati. Nailed it.
Looks like we've got your team ready to go.
Unfortunately, here it's pretty hard to get the funding for it. So unless there is unless we could find a nice funding, there's no other reason. Like there's no chance we can put something together with the right way. I've done it once, and to do it again, I have to do it properly.
It's across the board. It's across the board. We know that. We know that for a fact. But anyway, we've set the team up, so that's a good start.
Yeah, let's go.
You know what? Somebody might be listening, mate. They might turn up with a boat next week, and you'll be sweet. It'll be good.
Oh, we'll see. Now I'm running into trouble now if the boat shows up.
Yeah. Where's your crew member? Oh, I haven't told her yet.
Hey, I want to chat a bit about dragons and stars because, as you said, in Australia we don't have much exposure to either of those classes. They're sort of like we have people sail the stars if they want to do the Olympics. Yeah. And down in Tasmania there's a bit of a dragon fleet, but not like in Europe. You get 350 boats to the World Championships at one stage. I remember a few years ago and stuff. Tell us about sailing the dragon. Like in Australia, it's all electrical, so that instead of that, and they're doing 5.5s, but not 6s.
Yeah.
So it's probably tell us about these boats so we understand them as Australians. Because let's start with the dragon.
Right. As you know, the dragon it used to be an Olympic boat. It's from 1930 something. It is a very old design, but the truth is that it's very popular in Europe. We have a lot of sailors from all sorts of backgrounds, Olympic sailors, medalists, Volvo sailors, America's Cup sailors, they come into the class. Of course, there is the professional part of it, where the Dragon class normally you get an owner that hires 2 or 3 guys to be involved. So it's a lot of it doesn't happen much that you sail it 100% professionally. So you sail for an owner, but at the same time, everybody's putting so much effort. I used to say, like, if I knew what I know today about the Dragon, if I knew the same I know now when I was sailing 49ers, I would be really happy to go to the Olympics again,
Yep.
Because I've worked with a lot of very good guys, like the way they measure everything, masts, sails, work on any sort of detail, that when I was 19 or 22 years old going to London, I didn't know, I was kind of learning and going step by step. And now these guys are, putting the bar so high up there that makes the class enjoyable.
They're within the millimeters. Everything's about millimeters.
Yeah. Of course, it used to be in the 49er, but the knowledge that I've managed to get from these guys, it's so much nowadays, And that is one of the things I think puts the Dragon has such a nice and competitive class out there.
I think the other side of the Dragons is that there's a certain element of pride in the boats. When you see them, Jordan, I don't know if you've seen them when you go over there in Europe, but they're in mint condition as well. I mean, they're looked after.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now they're just building newer boats, and they look mint, But all my friends call me when they see pictures, like, is it really sailing? Is it going? Do you want to do something faster, or are you sticking to that old piece of crap? I'm like, well, it's actually pretty good fun.
Yeah, it's like everything. It's the same as the Etchels. It's like we say the same thing. If there was only one of them, you wouldn't sail, but because there's 25 or 35 or 45 of them, you sail them because that's how many there are. Coming into that bottom mark, and there's no room, and you've got 20, 30 people yelling at each other. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And they're all so close, and slow boats are tactical boats. So and one mistake and you're back out the back door. So it makes it good sailing.
But how good is it when you nail that one good manoeuvre, eh?
One good one.
Well, that's all you need. That's all you need, and then your race is done after that. All you got to do is extend after that.
That's it. Good start, and you're away.
Exactly.
So, if I was buying a Dragon, which one would I be buying? Like, we don't know. Like, is there difference in who's a good manufacturer? Is it the same rigs? What? Or you can...
The rigs you can choose from a few different ones.
Yeah.
Southern Spar have I would say the best stick out there, and for the boats, the easiest one is to buy a Pericrow. It's English built, and they have been building boats for 50 years, and the boat is pretty much ready to go. You don't need to do much to be fast with a new boat. We are selling a PCT. I don't know if you guys heard about the factory that used to be in Dubai.
Oh, yeah.
Premier Composites.
Premier Composites.
Yeah, they used to build some Maxis, some GC32s.
Yeah, Simon Grosser used to be part of that program.
Yeah. So the owner I sail with, I don't know if you guys heard, Sophie Racing. We stepped into the program. They were building some prototypes there. Yep. They were built like eight Dragons in the world, like the one we use. So we spend a lot of time there training and help the boat to become better and testing and stuff like that. So it's a kind of a unique boat. It's a bit different than the Pericrow, but very competitive as well.
So that Sophie Racing, is that Hugo Stenbach and Martin Westerdale?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much that's
because they're the guys you did the 6 meters with as well, yeah.
Yeah, Hugo owns a 6 meter as well. So it's I don't know if you know, his father used to have a challenging team for the America's Cup, the 6 meter
in Valencia, Red Bull.
Yeah, exactly. So his father, when on the first campaign, his father bought this 6 meter for the crew to start practicing. And Hugo's father died, and Hugo kept the team, sponsoring the team, and he actually rebuilt the whole 6 meter. So has been sailing 6 meter. It's a small class, you know. It's a very fun boat to sail. Again, it's a slow boat, but it has so much to play with. It's very technical. So yeah, he owns one of the boats, and we do both of the series with Sophie Racing Dragons and 6 meters.
Sounds like a good little program you're on there, mate. I mean, I love the look of meter boats. Like, I'm a bit old-fashioned that way. So I love looking at the 5.5s and I love looking at the 6s, probably more so than the 12s or the 8s. I think the 8s are my least favourite, but I think the 6s are just gorgeous things to see. So, I mean, it must be super cool just to even step on board one of those, I reckon. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a boat with a lot of history, and it's, you know, it's in mint condition. The teak and everything it's amazing. And then again, everybody's putting so much effort out there. You have 3D ice sails, raw and furlers, hydraulic systems, you know, all sorts of stuff. So it makes
those poor little hulls are being stretched and bent to the absolute limit.
Exactly.
That's super cool.
Fun.
That's super cool. I love it. I'm glad you're having all these sort of amazing adventures. The other one then, of course, is you do a lot of star sailing now, and as we discussed, your stepdad was a star guy, and I think he always wanted you to go down that star path. Yeah. I've actually never had the chance to sail one, but I look at them quite a lot. Like that's the Star Sailors League, you know, where you made the final, and just the people in that fleet is just insane.
Mate, you have to try that star, you know.
Yeah. Well,
you'd be a good star sailor.
Me?
Yeah.
How much you weigh, mate?
100 kilos, mate, of pure handsomeness.
That's good.
Not about how much he weighs.
Don't tell my wife I'm supposed to be 88. She likes me light.
It's not that he's heavy. It's where his weight is proportionate.
In my head,
there's a lot of it in his head. He's got a really big head.
That's good. More writing moment.
That's exactly right. That's where the real the legend of Jordan's come from. I've just got a gigantic head, which gives us huge leverage a writing moment. So
it's fantastic. He's a natural born star sailor.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So why would I want to sail a star? What are they like?
I mean, again, it's like a boat that you grow up watching, because you know all the legends of our sport sail the boat. So since I remember watching the stars, and I would say it's probably the race I watched the most when I watched the Olympic Games. Like, it was the star, you know, the finals, the medal race. And so watching those guys sailing was kind of one of the things that drove me to become a pro sailor and to become a better sailor. So having the chance to step on one boat, it's just amazing, you know. It's a boat that brings you so much feeling. It's so much fine-tune out. Yeah,
tweaky,
it's so tweaky that makes the challenge really nice and enjoyable, you know.
When you get it wrong, you get it wrong, but when you get it right, you get it right.
Exactly. And it's not easy as well. And still there is a crew work which makes the challenge better, at least for me. I prefer to sail with a team than just by myself. And you know, I never got the chance to do it until last year. That out of the sudden something just came together and led into sailing the SSL finals. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was pretty good to watch. One of the things that those guys do really well is they put on a great program to watch it, you know, like you can watch it online and enjoy it. I was trying to remember where I actually was watching it, because I remember, I think, who was there? It was Percy. In that, there was three of them just within millimetres of each other.
There was the final race.
Yeah, and
it was the French guy, and then maybe Ivan Mellery.
Yeah,
maybe, I don't know.
I can't remember.
Three guys just like through the to the finish, photo finish.
Yeah, and just that one little jibe here, and then just the amount of stress that must be on that. Even like the amount of stress on sailing a star, just imagining trying to keep that mast in the boat, like you've got basically a 470 mast section that's got this.
Yeah, I broke one. Yeah. I broke one. Of course, day 4 sailing the boat.
And that was just walking down the beach.
Exactly. Crazy. The mast is like this thick and just bends. Yeah. It's insane. Like you send the mast forward and you see the mast bending forward. It's
you don't have the Cunningham on that goes over the front of the boat.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. But I have noticed I sort of, for the listeners, I hope you're enjoying this because we're sort of fanning on these classes of boats, which are super cool older boats. I have noticed in Europe there's a bit of a retro scene in star sailing going on. I've been seeing some photos of that, which I absolutely love, seeing these guys getting old star boats and restoring them and then racing them. It looks really cool on the lakes. So not sure how well it'd go here in Australia because, you spend a lot of time sailing in ocean where it's quite lumpy and bumpy. So but the lake stuff would be good. Actually, where we sail, Australia's more like sailing cash coach. It's the same sort of conditions all the time. You're out there in quite bumpy conditions. It can get quite windy, but pretty solid, good, nice breezes.
Yeah, I spent some time in Perth. My eyes off worlds were in Perth. So that doctor came in and was pretty much like Cascais, strong sea breeze was pretty fun to sail there.
It's almost exactly like Cascais, even just getting out of the marina and stuff like that. So great sailing location. That's where, and the doctor, as they say, it comes in with a fair bit of weight and it's quite dense air and short choppy waves because it's quite shallow. Yeah. So you've got to have a lot of punch and you've got to hike like a mofo to keep the boat going.
You got to be careful with the sharks as well, huh?
Oh, a little bit, yep.
Yeah.
Fuck, mate.
Sharks.
That's the only thing that makes me a bit uncomfortable to sail there, I can tell you.
Really?
Sailing the 49er there, wiping out.
You don't need to worry about the sharks. It's when you get home to bed and get in your hotel and little spiders come at you at night time.
Oh, dear. It is funny. Old Australia, it's such a dangerous place. We've got all the. I was walking the other day down the footpath and I heard the birds going nuts.
He got bitten by a taipan snake.
No, not quite. I heard the birds going nuts and I looked around and a snake disappeared under a fence. So they weren't worried about me. They were worried about the snake coming for their nest for their little babies, I think. So they were just screaming. Oh, yeah. But when you hear the birds screaming sometimes...
Bernardo, I do a little bit of time at the Royal Sydney Yacht Squadron here in Sydney. I don't know if you've ever been here to Sydney, but the Royal Sydney Yacht Squadron is a really...
I've been there, but I have never been to that place.
Okay, well, it's a really beautiful yacht club here in Sydney, and I do a little bit of work there, and I have to have a walk across a little grassy patch from where my little garage is down towards the boats, and there's this little pesky bird there at the moment, and it's nesting at the moment. And every time I walk across that little grassy patch, it swoops down and hits me on the head. Yeah. Every time.
So that's really what Australians worry about. We don't care about the spiders or the snakes or the sharks. It's the bloody birds that swoop us and take chunks out of the back of our heads. That's what does us
every single time.
This time of year. Well, we're coming out of it.
It must make the people in the restaurant laugh because they're up there in the restaurant sort of looking down over the ocean. There's me walking across, waving my hands over my head going, God damn you.
Stupid mongrel things. So getting hit by bird life is what Australians worry about. The magpies, that's what we worry about. And, of course, drop bears. All right, so where to next, mate? We're coming to the end of our time with you, my friend. What's next? What are we going to be able... If people are wanting to... They've listened to you talk, they like you, and they want to find out more about you or see you racing, what's next your program?
Mate, I think at the moment I will focus a lot on the next edition of the race. So making sure I'm involved with the Mipuri team, and that's the goal. Now we'll have some strange times, a bit of some time off, unfortunately. So focusing on my physical condition again. I had just dislocated my shoulder in the beginning of the year, so I will get to know next week if I need to get a surgery and so on. So time to put some focus on myself, and the dragon season will start, and that's one of the goals as well, to go for it again, and that's pretty much it for now,
And of course, getting a baby?
Yeah. She's just looking at me. So.
No one can come and watch that though, can they?
Say again?
No one can come and watch that though, can they?
No, they
I
can't.
hope not, Jordan.
Sorry, it was just that I framed the whole conversation around coming to see your sale, and then that's the obvious other goal. So, all right, well that's cool. So the Dragons and the Ocean Race again is what's the program, and of course if somebody wants to provide a boat for the 24 Olympics, then you'll make that happen as well. We're good.
Yeah.
There we go.
Come and talk with me. I'll think about it for sure.
And can I just say, go on, BP, you go, mate.
I was going to say I'd be quite happy to work on getting you into a Far X2 to go for a bit of a yacht.
There you go.
It'd be good fun. And do me one favour as well, Bernardo. Could you say hello to my good friend Diego Barros when you see him?
Oh yeah, for sure. I will.
The last thing I think we should say, of course, is for the listeners, if you have not been to Portugal, it is one of my favourite places in the world. Mate,
I've got to tell you. As I said earlier, I love Eracira, but there was this other little restaurant. I can't remember where it was. It was near there, and it was up on the cliff, looking out over the Atlantic, and the food. Oh my god! Oh,
yeah,
I just love it.
Yeah, anywhere you go here, mate, you will have some nice food. You know. Yep. Our food is amazing.
I had another
wine.
Fantastic experience. This has now gone to Bar Karate travel show. We drove up to Porto, and then we went inland. And we went up into the hills, and we ended up in this lake region. And we spent a lot of time up in the hills up there behind Porto, and in these lakes. And we were water skiing, and we stayed in these old nunneries. That were these old churches where the old nuns used to live. And oh my god, it's stunning.
Nice wine as well, no?
Yep.
Oh, beautiful. I loved it. I love Portugal. Yep, there's my plug.
She's a grand place. Good sailing, good surf. The food's gorgeous.
Good people,
good wine, and it's cheap as chips for your food and your drink. That beautiful food and drink is really, really cheap compared to the rest of Europe.
I just remember the big the big pot with seafood and crunchy bread in the seafood, in the pot, in the soupy thing.
Yeah.
Yum.
So good. You are all invited, man. Come around.
I'll be looking forward to seeing you again one day, my friend. I appreciate you taking time to chat to us. I think it would have been really enjoyable for our listeners to hear about life as a Portuguese sailor and some of the amazing things you've done. So I appreciate you taking the time, bud.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it as well for you to invite me. Thank you.
Anytime, my friend.
Good on you, mate.
Okay.
Good on you, mate. Good to chat to you. Well, having done a lot of sailing with the Portuguese, I have to say, majority of it has been on classic boats.
Oh yeah,
ranging not on dragons, but I actually sailed on a boat called Seven Seas of Porto, which was a Portuguese owner, and it was actually US 9, which was the 9th 12-metre boat ever built in 1936. I did 3 or 4 years on that boat. It's a boat currently run by a very dear friend of mine, Marcus Kemp. But the owner, it's like a family heirloom almost, but it is a beautiful boat. He sails dragons as well. But this boat is a glamour restored 12-metre from 1936, and they love it. They love that style of boat there, and I think that they're all into their dragons, and it was cool to hear Fernando's stories.
Stories, yeah.
Bernardo.
He's not on his own in terms of just being such a nice bloke. Like, there's a lot of really nice guys there, or nice people in that country. So we gave Portugal a little plug at the end, and I just say
we did.
It's worth every second of your chance. Any chance. I tell everyone I speak to go to Portugal. It's just a great place. Right.
No, I agree with you. And the beautiful part about Portugal, it's unassuming. It's relaxed.
It's gorgeous.
And it is. Yeah, you're right.
It's a great place. All right, moving on. Thanks for your time, my friend. Bernardo, we love you. Any secret pro news that you're in, BP? Nothing?
To be honest,
you've been too busy with other stuff.
I've had my head down.
All right.
I'm just doing what I'm doing.
Okay, well, I'll drop something on you, not Secret Pro News.
Okay.
Oh, actually, this is important. I haven't had a chance to put this one on the run sheet. It's so late breaking news. For those who listen to our show regularly might remember we chatted to Robbie Naish on episode 45. As part of that conversation, he mentioned the movie that he was making, The Longest Wave. I don't know if you remember that, BP, The Longest Wave.
I do. I've seen the shorts to it too.
You've seen the shorts to it, yeah. So you've looked it up and had a bit of a look at that one. So the good news is that you might remember when we were talking to him, he was saying that they hope to do the release in June and then bring it down under in November. Well, they haven't been able to do the release anywhere in the world, but they are actually doing the world premieres in Australia and New Zealand. So The Longest Wave is coming to cinemas from November 26th. So it's
beautiful.
It's Robbie Naish's story, a quest to master the world's longest wave, but unexpectedly it moves on to...
Not unlike you.
Forget about that, BP. Move on. It reveals his vulnerabilities as a competitor, as a mentor and a father, and it's quite detailed. It's pretty much a real invitation into Robbie's life.
Yep.
Now, if you're interested, Longest Wave, let me tell you exactly how to get tickets. So the tickets are available from... It starts broadcasting, I believe, from November 26th, and in New Zealand, I think it's sort of from mid-December or 2nd December in Auckland. But basically, if you go to the website, adventureentertainment.com or thelongestwave.com.au, you will be able to find a link. You have to click on the actual Australia and New Zealand. You'll see it under Longest Wave. You'll see Australia and New Zealand. Just click on the Australia or click on New Zealand and it'll take you to the ticket offices where you can buy tickets to what should be a pretty cool thing. I know we're all starting to think about going back to the movies again. It's something we've been avoiding for a while, but now we can. There is a chance the people that are bringing the film to Australia and New Zealand and Robbie really quite like Baccarati. We've actually become sort of friends with Robbie. There is a chance that we may be able to give away some tickets. It's been raised with us for listeners.
Hang on, stop. Hang on.
Yeah.
What do we want to give them? Why don't we get them?
I think we're going to be... there's even more coming, BP. I can't say it. We haven't agreed terms yet.
Oh, there's more than 3, is there?
No. There might be something even more exciting going on. And next week we'll probably announce it. But I feel for our listeners that the exciting opportunity might be I believe we're going to be able to give away some passes, but the meeting to put all that together got delayed. So I can't say with certainty. But... next week's the one to listen to.
I have to say that the movie's going to be well worth it.
Yep.
So get onto it. Yep. Listen to what he said.
Yep.
And take it on.
Yeah, and Robbie, a great guy, and if you're a fan like we all are, then it is going to be awesome. So The Longest Wave is the name of the movie, and we'll put some details up on our social page. We'll put all the links up on our Facebook page and our Instagram pages so you can find the information. Actually, Robbie sent a little video just talking about it, which we got a copy of sent to us. So we'll put that up as well. And, so it's pretty exciting. And what better way to break the drought and go and see the Robbie Naish movie? I guess some of you would have gone and seen Tenet.
It is awesome.
Yep. And some of you would have gone and seen Tenet, which we all want to see. With all our sailing mates in that one as well. But, so I just thought I'd give that a good hard plug because Robbie was great and, we're all fired up. You happy with that one, BP?
Loved it.
Loved
mate.
it? Awesome.
You're just an awesome communicator.
Get stuffed. Right. Now, we're recording, what day is it? Friday night.
We are.
Recording.
Big week this week.
It has been a big week. Do you want to talk about how busy you've been, or we're talking about the Vendee? What do you want?
No, I think we would go straight into the Vendee. I mean, the Vendee for me has been fascinating.
Yep.
I think you've got probably the ins and outs of it, but I think I guess we've just experienced the first thing we all thought was going to happen.
Yep, exactly. So I'm sure everyone's watching, and this information will be a little bit delayed. At the moment, as we're recording, the fleet's just to the south of the Azores now, the leading part of the fleet. Obviously, we've seen quite a bit of interest in the race in that the fleet they're just about to they're in the northwest quadrant of that tropical cyclone storm Theta at the moment. And Hugo Boss has gone to the lead after doing that little sneaky jibe in the middle of the night while everyone else was sort of slightly asleep. And got south first, and will sort of actually have the best of this run through this this little storm. But obviously,
considering KP said all he wanted to do was get to the bottom in good shape.
Yeah, he's done really well.
Yeah,
If
you can get to the bottom in good shape and be in the lead, well, that's pretty good shape, right?
Yeah, well, absolutely. And remember, this angle of reach that they're going into, then you're linked out to your Pivia, who else is there? PRB's right there. Those sorts of faster boats at the moment, Coram, they're probably quicker on the sort of tighter reaching, whereas Alex is more broader reaching or
better running. Yeah,
better running. Yep, as we discussed. So intriguing to see how this will play out. I do think that Apivia and Linked Out are going to put the hammer down. For those who have been watching, obviously we had that little split in the fleet just going into that sort of ridge that came across after a couple of days of the race, and the foiler boats kept going west, and some of the more standard boats went south, what was supposed to be slower and safer, and actually came out in glamour. Looking fantastic. The split's about to happen now, though, I reckon, because there's a bit of a ridge off the top to the north of that storm, and I reckon a few boats are going to get stuck in some quite light winds. So I think we're going to start to see a little bit of a gap for the leaders.
Sure.
Yeah.
But as I said with Andrew Cape last week, I said, you're going to see different philosophies, you're going to see different attitudes towards their strategy, and it shows that they had to take every possible opportunity to get down through this zone. And this next week or so is going to be really interesting.
Yep.
As to see how it pans out. Now, listen, I want to do one thing before we go any further. And I've been actually quite impressed with one young Pip Hare.
Yep, going for it.
On Medallia.
Yep.
Every day she's putting a video out.
Yep.
Every day. And it's been impressive, and I'm loving it. And so I just wanted to say she's a Barcaradian, and we love her and supporting her. So congratulations to her.
Yeah, good on you. And we'll probably chat to one of her team, because obviously we had her on the show in the past, as BP just said. We'll chat to one of her team in a few weeks just to go through. Obviously Sam Davies, who we all know and love.
Yes.
She's the top-ranked female at the moment, sitting 8th overall as we look. So herself and I guess... Jean LeCam, who's just sailing an old boat and just smashing it. But herself and Kevin Escoffier have got the sort of modified older generation boats and doing the best out of that group. So, of course, congratulations to them and Sam. I guess we have to mention there are a couple of... a real shock to the race, of course, Jeremy Bayou on Shirelle.
Yeah.
What a disaster. So he by the time you've got this has gone to air, he should be almost ready to... He should arrive back Saturday is what they reckon, and just looking at the map, I'm pretty certain he's absolutely going to do that for sure. And then how quickly they turn him around. So they've got a spare rudder. They can throw that straight on. And then... they've got to do a few sort of fairly major repairs. So how long that's going to take to there's at least 24 hours in dock, I reckon, just with what he's got to do. And I tell you, because his runner's pulled out basically, he can't be on starboard on port. Sorry.
It's an amazing story. I mean, I guess it just comes down to luck in the end of it. But unfortunately, he had the incident, and then he had to get himself into a situation. And no one knows what really happens out there. There was some pretty nasty conditions. I mean, admittedly, they're saying they saw gusts of 50 knots. So,
yep.
I don't know how many times they've been out there training in 50 knots. I mean, I'd love to say that they all go out training in 50 knots, but it's not exactly a condition you like to go training in. But the boat just obviously went through a situation where it lost that runner block or whatever it was broke. But the fact is he's got to get back, and the fact is that he's got to retrain his brain and just put it out of his head that he's a week behind, and he's just got to go sailing. And that's probably the biggest thing. And if you look at the great comebacks of all time in sailing, you've obviously the America's Cup with Oracle against New Zealand, where they were 8-1 down. It's almost similar. It's a really good story. Let's see how he goes. Let's watch this from that point of view. He's a week behind. Off you go.
I don't think he's going to come out in favourable conditions. I think he's either going to come out into the middle of a major storm or he'll be coming out into howling headwinds.
But this is the point. Do you wait? Do you sit there and wait for favourable conditions and make massive advantage gains by waiting 5 days? Or do you go out and get smashed and break the boat?
Yeah, good question, BP. Good question. I reckon...
Mate, I've done it. And the problem is where they are, right? It's getting later and later into winter.
Yep.
He's got to make that decision whether he leaves or he says, here's the window, because there's going to be a very small window across that bay.
Yep. As Bossy says, the bay of sudden death, or
Bay of broken boats.
Bay of broken boats. Yep.
Yeah, the Bay of Biscay is
she's a tough
one
one
of those places.
Yep.
It is a tough one, and he's got major things to think about just to get out of that bay.
And put a major program together, determined program. Pulled the boat together a year earlier than everyone else, just so he could work the boat. So he was third last edition, and obviously put a huge sort of pressure on himself. So we'll see what happens there.
I think what we all need to do is we all need to put our collective energy together and send it to him and say, mate, take it on. Let's all put it together and let's see what happens, because this is going to be a really exciting story to watch. The timing of when he gets back out, and the speed that he's going to have to sail, and the way he's going to have to sail to catch up, because he's got to be smart. It's not just about being in front anymore. It's not about being in the lead. It's about timing your time to attack and timing your time to catch up, because he is going to catch up. There's no doubt. But is he going to catch up the leaders? Well, let's see how it pans out.
Another of the front runners that everyone was expecting to do well is Amel Tripon and La Occitan. He's also heading to the nearest Spanish port to get to do a bit of work. There's something wrong with his J3 head fitting. I don't know that he can get up there at the moment to do it, so he's got to pull in as well. So that'll put him behind a little bit, but not as majorly as is going to happen to Jeremy. So, a little bit of action, but I
guess
Capey said, it's a war of attrition. We'll expect 50% of the fleet to suffer something.
But I guess one of the cool things is we had Marcus Hutchinson on a couple of weeks ago talking about Alex, and he's quietly gone about his job this time, and he's doing what he's doing. He's in the front part of the fleet, and everyone's watching now. So we'll see what happens.
Yep, so are all the others. So there's plenty of boats. They're all pretty close, so it's good racing. It's going to be great. BP, you've been busy. You've got your new renders out for your X2, so they look pretty amazing. So well done. Anything to report there?
Well, I haven't got the renders out.
Well,
the team's got the renders out.
Fair
I'm
enough.
just the guy that, But anyway, yes, no, you're right. It's look, this project is it's all absorbing. It's 24/7, and the coolest part about it is that we're making grounds, and it's great to see the response, and we're loving it.
Yeah, it's a cool looking boat. Can't wait for it to hit the water. Very cool looking boat. So the new renders look good. So I just thought I'd bring it up just in case there was anything cool happening. Obviously, I've seen the deck plug where you've actually you've been laying out all the fittings and the pathway, so everything should work pretty smoothly. Should be a glamour boat. I've seen all the numbers. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, there's nothing better than a 1-to-1 deck fit out that you can actually feel the ropes and feel the boat, and you can actually put your legs in the right spot. You can pretend to tack. We had a boom in place, we had a mast in place, we had the main sheet in place, and you could pull it on from all different angles. And just checking that was the coolest thing ever.
So we did that for the Super 60 when we were doing that for the Ocean Race, when we were developing that. When the Super 60 now is, I guess, most closely reflected by Pivia and Linked Out. They're probably the two boats that are the Super 60, and we did the actual interior and the deck. And I have no idea how a human being can exist in such a small, tiny place. And when they go to do crude versions of those boats, that's not even possible. It's so ridiculously tiny in those things. It's quite surreal.
Yeah.
For those wondering what life's
Dumb.
like down below on those things, it's just cramped.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Well, I can safely say there's probably more room inside a Far X2. So all those thinking about buying a Imoca 60 to go sailing offshore, don't do it. Come down to a Far X2 and actually enjoy yourself.
Absolutely be more room inside a Far X2. If you've got a 6.5 metre trailer sailor, that's probably like around a 6 to 7 metre trailer sailor. That's probably the amount of size that you've got inside one of those Imoca 60s that's usable, where you can live in. All right.
Yep.
What else? That's about it. Summer of Sail, the SA Summer of Sail taking their entries.
Yes.
So,
I saw this.
Yep. So if you're keen, Off the Beach Sailing Festival in Adelaide, 28 December to 10 January. If you're keen to be part of that, obviously a lot of national champs are over. Go and jump on the website, sasummerofsail.com.au. We give that a good plug. We mentioned the Jindabyne Yacht Club having their regatta as well. And we'll keep plugging things and events. And that's about it for me. BP, anything else?
And probably worth at this stage saying, please, if you have any events you want us to talk about, send them in, because we're serious. The Jindabyne event has come back, and we gave them a plug, and I'm sure it's going to work. So if you have any events, let us know. We'll give it a plug.
Cool. All right. That's it. Thanks for listening, mate. Thanks for being here. You all happy?
Yeah, I missed that other bloke.
He's overrated.
He's got a funny voice too.
Yeah. Thanks to Bernardo for joining us. Thanks to everyone for listening, and we've got an amazing show next week. If you're into the business and you want to know how to put a full program together and be a proper sponsored pro and get your own boats and stuff together, we're going right to one of the most amazing programs in the world now.
This is full pro.
Yep, serious stuff. So it'll be a great show.
Hit it.
Okay. See you, bud.
See you, mate. See you, guys. So the whole song was tuned in F.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, open F.